How you doing, guys? I wanted to fire off a video, something I think is just really, really cool. I set up the cards the way I did for the Tarot-thon with the grid. If you're not familiar with the grid, it's the first 7 cards, the next 7 cards right under that, the major arcanas, and the 7 cards under that. You check out the Tarot-thon, and we want this specific grid. You don't really need to know that. We just got to have this as a commentary, but I thought it fascinating, because I see patterns with friends, with colleagues at work, with both massage as well as the hypnotherapy practice, and of course almost all of my tarot clients that I see are dealing with this aspect of trying to form futures that they want in their lives. And it inevitably comes down to them not knowing what they need to do in order to have something happen. And they're using just their conscious mind to be able to plan for the future. And something that I've been learning from the Ascended Masters, and certainly through the tarot, which I'm so happy to share with you here. As I was reading, I just wanted a little bit of insight to this idea of our need, our desire, our belief for that, trying to figure out the right course of action is the best for us. And what the Course teaches, what the Course in Miracle teaches, is that that's probably the worst way to go about if you're trying to get to a certain goal, is to plan consciously how you're going to get there. Now let me explain what I mean. I'm just going to flip to the one lesson. It's my most favorite lesson of the entire book. It's lesson 135. It talks about planning, and it talks about using your mind and how that basically will screw you every single time. And I see this as a therapist, and I see it in my tarot. And let me just read the particular one sentence here that really got me like, I got to pull out those cards, man. I got to investigate this. And so this is what it is. The mind engaged in planning for itself is occupied in setting up control of future happenings. Obviously. It does not think that it will be provided for unless it makes its own provisions. Time becomes a future emphasis to be controlled by learning and experience obtained from past events and previous beliefs. It overlooks the present. That's the big point here. It overlooks the present, for it rests on the idea the past has taught enough to let the mind direct future course to an intended goal. And when I read that, after trying to find some insight that I could just a bit better visually understand it, I came straight in real strong with the 4 of Cups, all right? With the RWS, okay? Because it just fits so beautifully for, spiritual themes, okay? I just thought about this 4 of Cups, and I figured it was just one of those third eye type of like, bam, this is what that sentence or these couple sentences was talking about, is just judging, all right, from your past experiences and missing that key ingredient that's going to get you to where you're intending to go. So I just really sort of looked at that, and you guys are familiar with this, but why not? I got to do something, so I'm going to hold up this wonderful card. And I said, let's pull out those other 3s. Let's talk about the 3s. I think the magic in this card, and magic about, well, what do we then do if we don't plan for our futures? It's about being inspired, and this is why, and this is how, okay? I pulled out the 3s of the deck, and I said, whenever you're just focusing on what's happening based on your past, because that's something that you have experience with, it's all about past sorrows, hurts, pains, disappointments. That's flavoring concepts of what you're trying to deal with consciously. Other knowns, kind of like what you're hoping for future reality, this wonderful 3 of Cups right here. All of our past experiences, anytime for me personally, this is not, let's talk about how we differently interpret cards. When I see 1 lifted up, I automatically think of the Hierophant type of imagery, where there's sort of like a belief system of somebody else. It's not really just you coming to a soul conclusion yourself or finding that place within yourself to find the answer. It's always like looking up and working with other people to know how you should proceed. And then this is sort of like that other aspect of hope. What do I do? Well, you just kind of know that something's going to come in, and that's this wonderful 3 of Wands. I actually love this card so much in a million different ways, in a million different readings. But these sort of things sort of flavor what you're doing when you're trying to consciously find out how to get to a particular goal by not looking at this gift that is presently always right there for you. And then I said, you know what other cup obviously is presented like that? Let's learn a little bit more about that particular cup. So obviously I pulled out the ace. It's the only other cup coming from a cloud. And it immediately hit me. It took me back from the tarot talk, the Tarot-thon 2019 talk, where on the RWS, this gift that's being presented to you right now, which we're going to get into how and why that works, it has the only universal symbol for what is considered the Holy Spirit. What the Course says is that the Holy Spirit is your higher self. In the Course talk, it's clearly the full of eternity, of not time, of not space, beyond time and space, the connecting point between your third density, third dimension, and this ultimate reality of that which is the universal mind, okay? And I said, let's continue this theme on the threes. And then I looked at the third card on the first line, and we talked about in a Tarot-thon, the third card of the second line, because those numbers jive up beautifully. And I said, in trying to find out how to best be inspired to that idea that is going to kind of get you to where you're intending to go without planning what steps to do, is all about connecting the card of obviously the Empress and this Wheel of Fortune. This is the wheel that brings to you everything that is designed by this universal mind. It organizes your karma. It brings to you the things to balance karma from the past. And it has everything to do with literally bringing to you or repulsing away from you. If you remember the part of the talk where I said the tool of the Empress, of the divine feminine, is magnetism. That is what magnetizes through your higher self the trust that whenever you get away from looking at your past experiences to try to judge how to move forward, you're missing the whole point of what that Holy Spirit, higher self, brings in to say, you have got to get away and out of trying to consciously figure this out, because this is in control by Her Majesty right there, all right? Whatever this universal God force you want to call or refer to it. And it literally, through the tool of the Empress, uses magnetism to bring it to you. And you can only do that when you enter this state of being fully present. Being fully present, because what we learned, I think, through the cards, certainly through the Course in Miracles, is that your brain cells that do the recording work of how information is organized and retrieved, it does not plan how future progressions happen. Okay, we can sort of use tarot to sort of symbolize what is the inevitability based on current patterns of feelings, thoughts, and your actions. But it doesn't project something unique. It doesn't think of something special, something inspired. The most cool realizations, and I had said in many other videos, my favorite part of being a tarot card reader and a person that works with the subconscious mind is whenever the client comes back the next week or the next talk and they said, you're not going to believe what happened since we last talked. Certainly not because of anything that I did, but because we got them to understand the idea that your brain cells cannot plan for the future. You have to get out of the way. You have to trust basically the Empress, the divine feminine, to attract to you through the power of magnetism that circumstance, situation, event that you are hoping for, or it will bring you the otherwise if it is divinely guided that balancing needs to happen. It's a magnificent lesson, I believe, by how you can always have access to what you're missing by just looking at these other threes that we talked about that you just know are already there, okay? So to create new patterns, you got to get out of what already happened, all right? I like that. To get into patterns, get out of what already happened and stay right there so that you can receive this wonderful gift, this wonderful idea. And I love this. Your higher self, that little dove, will bring you that which you can't see when you're looking at all these things from your past. I just love that lesson. I was so happy to share that with you guys. Yeah, anyway, I really wanted to jump on because just how the cards worked out, it was just beautiful, and well, I'd like to share that. So anyway, have a wonderful evening. Thank you for watching, and I hope this changes your aspect and attitude about, I have to figure this out, I have to figure this out, because your brain can't. Your higher self can, so rely on that. Okay, bye.